Hello everybody and welcome to the Nexus Gaming Series. I am Jayzon, and I've got a B West division match for you guys tonight. It is going to be Obscured versus Reborn Knights Red. And I just want to make sure that both these teams are ready to go. I'm going to queue them both up real quick, make sure we're all ready. Everybody is in lobby. It looks like we are good to go. We did have Reborn Knights Red. Oh, ban hat on Garandolf. We can do that. Alright, so it looks like Obscured is ready. Alright, both teams are ready, and we're going to go straight into draft number 1. We are not waiting. I know you guys want to see this big matchup tonight. I want to see it too. These are two teams that are both in need of some points here, really. Obscured is starting to run out of matches. They, I believe they don't... Did I look correctly on the schedule? I think I remember seeing that Obscured does not have any matches next week, so the schedule kind of catching up with Obscured a little bit here. They do have a match in week 7 against Knights of the Round. So, but this is really one of the last opportunities for Obscured to be able to get some points on the board. I believe they did have 2 matches scheduled this week. They've got Team Showboat that they played last night, and unfortunately did not get any points from that matchup. Team Showboat able to pull off a win against them. So, right now, Obscured has 2 more opportunities for points. And right now they are sitting in 5th in the standings, but not very high above some of the other members. Meanwhile, Reborn Knights Red sitting at 11th right now. They have yet to pick up a win on the season, so this could be a good time for them to start, sitting at 2 and 4 currently. I think they may have already also had a matchup this week. I'm actually going to take a quick look so you guys can have a little background here. They did play... They were scheduled against First Pick Nova, but it doesn't say that the match was scheduled. So I would have to dig a little deeper, see if we have time for that later on tonight. But either way, RK Red, really, surprising a few teams recently, snagging a few games away from some of the better teams in the division. So I wouldn't be surprised to see them put together some magic tonight, get some points against Obscured. But they're definitely right now in that bottom 4, that red area where they're in danger of not making the playoffs. So they really need to get some wins tonight and get some points. But either way, game number 1, Towers of Doom. This was the map pick of Reborn Knights Red, who won the toss, banned out Cursed Hollow, and picked Towers of Doom. Meanwhile, Obscured banning out Battlefield of Eternity. And they, for game number 2, are going to take us to Brax's Holdout. So Dahaka going to be the first ban, and then Chromie in response here from RK Red. Dahaka, pretty solid hero on this map. The global can be very annoying to deal with overall. Kind of rough to have to constantly worry about whether or not Dahaka is going to rotate quickly to one of these altars, or if he's going to stay put where he's at to pressure. He can always be somewhere to contest and then instantly rotate to a different one. And thanks for the shout out, Reborn Knights, on the good old Twitter. And the first pick, Abba, so Obscured, going straight to the Abathur. Super early priority, but he is pretty good on this map. Overall, does have a lot of upsides with his constant ability to side soak, especially if he can get the body soak going in a long period of contesting over these altars. You can really get a lot of value out of the XP he can give you. And on this map, XP is king. It almost, to a certain point, doesn't even matter how far behind you are in terms of the actual map objective, the core shots. If you're ahead on levels, eventually you're going to get those altars to spawn when a map objective is up, when these altars are ready to be captured, and you're going to have an inherent advantage when that team fighting begins. But Reborn Knights Red responding strong here with 2 very strong meta picks, Diablo and Stukov. Now, Diablo has not received his rework yet. That was recently announced, but that will be coming in a future patch for Heroes of the Storm. So, still the classic circular Fire Stomp. All the talents that we've come to know and despise on Diablo. Unless you're a tank player and then you love them. But Diablo and Stukov. Strong engage potential from the Diablo. Very, very strong stall ability and sustain from the Stukov. Stukov, of course, one of the best healers in the game right now. And now Obscured. Going to pick up a support of their own. And they're going to pick up the Leo. So Leo, a pretty good pairing with the Abathur. He can really enable Leo to have a little bit extra survivability, get a little bit of extra damage out with the Abathur Symbiote Hat, and Malfurion also being picked up here. Of course, with the side of Reborn Knights Red already having Stukov Obscured, wanting to get Malfurion so they can avoid the healer chokehold on this next ban phase. But Reborn Knights Red does have their tank, where Obscured has not yet picked a main tank, so they could look to maybe ban out the Garrosh or the ETC, whatever they're more worried about, both within their comp and with what Obscured already has. I would say that the Garrosh isn't really that concerning. You know, what is the damage follow-up, really? That's Garrosh throw into Leoric and Mouth. That's kind of... I don't know that there's enough follow-up there. The Mouth roots are good with Garrosh, I suppose. They're going to ban the Arthas, so they're going to take away one of the more tanky options. And, of course, Arthas, well known as an Abathur clone target. When you have double Arthas, double the slows, double the roots. And, of course, Arthas does quite a bit of damage overall compared to a lot of tanks in the game. So, pretty solid ban out there. It does kind of foreshadow some possible picks here from Reborn Knights Red. They could be looking for a Greymane, which of course Arthas is a very strong counter to. But I suppose we will just have to see what these guys are up to. Meanwhile, Obscured having the next ban out here. They could look to try and choke out some of the solo lane options. They have Leo. They already have a very strong solo lane hero. They could maybe look to deny the Sonya. Could look to possibly take away Blaze. Could look to further deny the global ability with maybe a Falstead ban. They have a lot of options. They are going to take away the Greymane, so looking at the strong possibility that Arthas was a foreshadowing of the Greymane, they're just going to take the Greymane away. And I really like that call. Obscured feeling some nice drafting techniques right now. Two more picks coming up from Reborn Knights Red. The question for them is, what do they want to flex? They still need a solo laner, probably. Definitely a solo laner, definitely a backline damage dealer. And then that last pick is kind of flexible. They can go with a melee assassin. They can go with another backline damage, maybe something with a little bit more siege. You have things like Junkrat that are available for good poke from the backline. But they do pick up their solo laner. And no real reason to flex the solo lane. They already know what the solo lane is on the other side, the Leo, so they just need somebody that can chew him alive. And in probably one of the most brilliant moments in Carbot history, the Malthael versus the Leo and the existential crisis, he shows us exactly why Leoric is weak to Malthael. But definitely good tank shredder, and Leo's high health pool is going to really make him susceptible to the percentage-based damage in the solo lane from Malthael. And so they decide to flex out that last pick. You know, we don't really see what Obscured is building here. They have their healer, they have their solo, they have Abathur. But what is Obscured going for here? They obviously need another tank. Well, one would think. Could be Johanna, could be ETC, could be a few different options. Cat decided he needed to run through everything. I apologize. And as I say, you would think they need a tank. Obscured, wanting to prove me wrong in so many ways. And they're going to get Thrall and Maiev. So interesting pickups here. They have an all melee comp with the Abathur, strong dive potential to get back to the Stukov, but are they a little overly susceptible here to the Diablo and the hard engage if they just go back onto one of the squishies and focus? Kael'thas, of course, very good against melee comps with the bomb spread. Malfurion is a pretty decent healer to deal with that, however. He's able to put the Q on and then can constantly heal through the ticking power of those Moonfires. Be able to keep everybody alive without them having to bunch up very much. Unlike, say, a Brightwing, Lucio, or Ariel, where Malfurion just gets the constant healing from a split position. What is this last pick? Gonna go with the Phoenix. So, Phoenix has dropped off quite a bit. Received a first set of nerfs a couple of weeks ago when he first made his original foray into competitive play for Heroes of the Storm. And then we end up seeing another nerf yesterday, taking away a little bit more of his power. Mostly talent balance changes. But overall, we'll see how this works out. More backline damage, plenty of siege. They could also potentially put Phoenix in a solo lane situation. He's definitely not terrible in the solo lane. Either way, we are going to be loading in here to game number 1. We're going to see which team can prevail tonight. And if this Abathur pick ends up paying off here for Obscured, there really was no hard counter to it. No Falstad, no Global to try and answer to it. So, despite it being a very early pick, not being countered at all. See, that ends up being a hindrance or not for the members of Reborn Knights Red. But meanwhile, we are loading in. On the left, we are going to have Obscured. It is going to be Team Captain Mumu on the Abathur. Garandoff is going to be on the Maiev. Unicorn King on the Malfurion. I Got Itches going to be on the Thrall. And on Leoric, we're going to have Anson. On the right, Reborn Knights Red. We're going to have CG Stamop. I knew I was going to flip out on that one. He's going to be playing the Phoenix. Melkor is going to be on the Malthael. Ninja on the Diablo. Reinsguard on the Kael'thas. And Stoctigan is going to be on the Stukov. So right away, both teams going to split out quite a bit here. We're going to have Leoric going to the bot lane to solo soak down there. Multiple members are here in the mid, but it's going to be an advantage early for Reborn Knights Red. They've got far more people down here. Leoric shoving in the bot lane, and at least a few of these minions going to be missed before Reinsguard gets down here to soak it. But meanwhile, the rotation is in, and Wraithwalk is down for Anson here. In a lot of trouble. The stun comes out into the flame strike. He's going to get low from that bomb, but does eventually walk away with the help of that Brain Hope there. Give him a little bit more healing power. Phoenix goes down, getting a little bit too aggressive up here against I Got Stitches. Once again, or I Got Itches. You'd think it'd be Stitches, right? We got the Diablo spray in here for Ninja. Love it. Love it. Carbot stuff. That's what you want. Carbot is really in right now. Alright, so we do have the 3-man rotation back to bot. Once again, putting pressure on good old Anson. He's going to back out. Potential tether, but nice counter there by Ninja. The overpower and the shove saying, no, I'm not going with you. You are, in fact, going with me. Cap picked up in bot, but it will be cleaned out pretty quick here by Obscured. Now they can look to get their own camp. While top being pressured, Moo is here to soak it and try to deter some of the damage. Meanwhile, Stamop, I'll get it eventually, man. Stamop is up here grabbing this camp. But Thrall is rotating in. I think he's aware of this. Stamop not even gonna try it. Because with that Abathur hat, there's just no way the Phoenix can really hope to contest against the Thrall. The 1.5 hero. Meanwhile, Unicorn King is coming up. This is 2 assassins though, so 2v2.5 with that Abathur hat. And the mop gets out, but Melkor in too far, and that is going to be a big kill right before the altars activate. 2v3 here in the bot, or should I say 2.5 v3. But a nice charge there from the Ninja. He gets back to Garandalf. Will burn the overpower, but the tether comes out on the back end. I'm going to pull Reinsguard back in, and that allows Abathur to actually get the last hit. That's going to be a big pick going over to the side of Obscured. Meanwhile, both teams just trading out the top, but Obscured ends up getting the better of this exchange in the bottom, and they also are now 3-0 on the kill count. They're coming out early here, playing very well to start off this matchup. And with an Abathur getting a lead on the towers and an XP lead, that is huge here for the side of Obscured. That is more than you can hope to expect for the ABBA comp. We will have teams resuming to the laning phase. Taking a quick look at these talents. Looks pretty standard across the board. It was indeed Crash Lightning from I Got Itches, so gonna get some stacking value on the objectives. Oh, but Diablo falling. Wow, Diablo and KT, the massive aggression coming out. Garandalf will put these guys not in their place, but pull them out of their place, making them not safe. Solo lane resuming down here, and once again, the bot lane where the action's at. But this was a nice capitalization here for Obscured. They got their own camp, they pushed it in, the front wall is now down. They're actually looking to steal. The members of Reborn Knights are here though. They can look to try and steal this. Melkor does get on the point, and yeah, with multiple members here, Obscured not going to push the issue. So nice defense there. And we do have the solo altar spawning in the bot. Both teams starting to rotate. Abathur body soaking in the top. Can also either use the hat to affect the team fight here, or could potentially soak, but right now looks like he's more interested in trying to get some extra damage out. And huge dive in here on the back end from Ninja. Garandalf also going deep onto the back line, but it's Malthael that ends up the first to fall. Melkor is down. Stamop trying to teleport out, but he's not going to get away from this divey comp from Obscure. Diablo falling as well. So a 3-for-0 exchange. And all of a sudden, Obscured is just dominating these team fights. Even, you know, essentially down the hero with Abathur body soaking the top. 8-0 on the kill count. And now the members of Obscured looking at level 10, looking at an 8-point lead on the core. Even getting some extra structure damage out in every lane. Everything is coming up Obscured right now. Once again, this is a team that needs to score some points tonight if they want to try and move up that ladder a bit. Especially if they want to look to secure themselves a playoff spot here. It'll be their last game. They've got a bye week next week, and then they play one more match in the last week, which is 7. So they're looking to get everything they can out of their opportunity tonight. You know, Reborn Knights Red cleaning up the lanes. It's the mob looking to try to deny some of this damage, and does actually kill off one of those pumpkin sappers before they run in to the towers and top. Camp also pushing in the bot lane here. Pretty standard heroics, as you would expect. It is actually Containment Disc, though, coming out from Garandalf, so maybe a little bit of a A little bit of a difference maker there. For those of you who are not familiar with containment disc, think of kind of think of web wrap. It's pretty similar to that style, except you can't break it early. It's just a set amount of time. I believe you can break it early, but the enemy team can't break it.
Take the altars and put
We will see Garandalf going in, zoning Melkor away from the mid. Unicorn King is going to get this for free. 2 altars are available, though, so still the bot is open. We do have Reinsguard casting. Planet Cracker coming out as we have we have Phoenix rotating down, but Mop going to be here a little bit too late to try to save Kel'Thas. But Maiev is down, as is Thrall. So back and forth, the bloodbath coming in here. And right now, things are actually going over to the side of Reborn Knights Red. Stockton able to finish off that clone. So Abther going to have to assume the hat position if he wants to affect anything else here. But it's essentially a 1-for-3 fight. Stockton cutting him off there with the lurking arms. Mop actually capping to make sure that they get this altar before the members of Obscured can come back. But that's a 3-for-2 exchange, and that's exactly what Reborn Knights Red needed to try and get back into this one. They lose a couple members, but they get the shots, so they're not falling too far behind here. The lead remains 8. What's more troubling is the level lead now that the members of Obscured have. Both teams should still be able to get 13, though, before this next single altar spawns. But then the real worry is that next spawn, which is going to end up being the triple altar phase and the possibility of maybe having that level 16 lead. Nice lurking arm there, or not lurking arm. The swipe, the flailing swipe there from Stockton. I had to actually do it with my hands to remember what I was doing. I'm flailing. But really pushing the members away. Nice disengagement there. Containment disc actually being burned a little bit late there in their attempt to isolate somebody. Meanwhile, right now, action slowing down just a little bit. Take a look at these heroics. Planet Cracker. Definitely a little bit odd of a pick, but not a whole lot of slows over on the side of Reborn Knights Red, which you get a little bit of extra pepper on the salvo when you got enemies slowed. Extra 50% damage on those cannon fires. But for right now, it looks like they're just going to look to that long-ranged poke and denial. And like Stamop can actually pump that out right here to block it. It actually misses. Misses the interrupt. Ooh. That's going to be a free shots going over to Obscured. Meanwhile, Unicorn King is getting in here. The mop gonna end up going down. Nice Twilight. Stockton getting low on the back end. Nice peel though from Ninja. I'll push them back just a little bit as the remaining sappers go on into the altar. Once again, nice flailing swipe from Stockton, giving them a little bit of breathing room here in the bot. Level 13 picked up for both teams now, but still about a level lead. Oh, but Melkor found Moo up here, but nice dig out. I'm gonna avoid the death for now. I mean, I literally mean that. He's avoiding God of Death. But right now, both teams gonna go ahead and start that soak for its level 16. But that triple altar phase is about to spawn. The question is, will Obscured have enough time to get 16? They're about a level away. If they get any picks here, I would say they definitely have a good shot at it. And they are invading. They're looking to steal this camp, but on the back end, Malfurion getting incredibly low. Unicorn King did pop the ice block, but is able to walk his way on out. Meanwhile, 3 members going down, and the containment disc going down as well. The roots to follow. The mop's gonna end up going down, and this is disaster mode for the members of Reborn Knights Red. 3 altars activating, 3 members dead. Diablo's back, but has no souls. And Melkor is gonna maybe look to try and cap one of these, but Garandalf is here to say no thank you, sir. you want to come fight us for it. And I got Itches is here. They're even gonna burn. They burn the the Sunder. And that Q there from the Abathur hat could have been enough to finish him off, but all three will still be capped, and that's going to really extend the lead quite a lot. Kel'Thas falling, Ninja coming in with the shove, but the containment disc cuts off the Planet Cracker just long enough for Kirandov to get out. Stockton going in behind and actually swiping them into the kill zone. So they do get the thrall. But it's in exchange for Phoenix, Kel'Thas, and Diablo. Now it looks like the members of Obscured are looking for a boss here. This is pretty risky. I think they might need to back away from this one. I don't think like the boss is gonna win this fight. It's not gonna work. You really, yeah, you gotta have Leo there. You gotta remember, there's no tank over on the side of Obscured. Oh, Abathur. Abathur gets found. Where was Abathur? I don't even know where he was. Oh, he was in the bot, I guess. Alright, well. Abathur was his first death of the game. So that'll be a little bit less pressure on the members of RK Red as they look for those level 16s. Right now, they are down 24 shots, down to 8. And here is the first opportunity for a win condition coming in just 20 seconds. Double altars in the top, and it looks like Girandov looking to get the engage, but nice shadow charge coming in from Ninja. Gonna deny Girandov that opportunity for an engagement. And right now, both these teams are a little bit slow to rotate. They are picking fights with each other down here. Looks like Melkor, the captain, not having any of it. He's just going to go ahead and hit the cap. Apoc coming out, and they are going to find themselves a Leo kill. Unicorn King comes in, but this time the Planet Cracker is on target, gets the interrupt. Next interrupt can be coming in from a couple different sources. It is going to be the Shadow Charge. Does the double Shadow Charge to put Malfurion right into the clutches of death. Malfurion goes down, but Malthael falling, Diablo falling, Stockton getting very low. Itches looking for the Stukov. A flailing swipe will zone him away for the moment. But this is looking rough for Reborn Knights Red. They are getting low, but they find the Thrall kill. Girandov is getting low. He has the Abahat, but a huge lurking arm from Stockton. Leo is going to come back to life. But the members of Reborn Knights Red are splitting up and forcing him to be zoned. But he finds a kill. Huge kill onto Stockton. And now he is on the chase. Reinsguard is in his sights. Can they get the kill? The March comes out and destroys Phoenix. And gets him healed up. Oh my goodness. And Sid. Oh, jeez. He is just a beast. You put him on any hero. He is an amazing Junkrat. And he is just dominating on Leo right now. Silly. I like the zoning Shadow Chart, like the zoning Wraithwalk. Not even bothering with hopping out to actually interrupt it. He just spooked Melkor into stopping his cap there. Ice Block does come out there from the Unicorn King as Melkor is deep in Obscured back here and is going to get taken out for it. Reinsguard going to end up going down. Sunder popped there. And now it is really all Obscured. They are going to go straight for the boss. Stockton is over here, but I don't know exactly what they can do. The Planet Cracker is available, but still quite a long time until they have their members back up here. And really all Unicorn King has to do is just move a little bit, and then, yeah, you bait out that initial Planet Cracker, and then that's all she wrote. And that is going to be it. GG, game number 1, going over heavily to Obscured. No tank, no problem. You did have Leoric, technically a warrior, it's true. Not your traditional idea of a tank, but the Abther play coming out from Moo, just excellent. Tons of XP, tons of damage. And just overall, pretty patient play, strong rotations. I like all the ideas coming out from Reborn Knights Red. They just didn't quite execute it together there. Kind of rough sometimes having to get in on these backliners. What is up, OPS? Well, sure. Why not? Right, that's NGS, folks. That's. We gotta remember to turn that off after the initial play. All right, we're gonna set up game number 2 for you. We are going to be going to Braxis Holdout for game number 2. This was the map pick for Obscured. This was Obscured's map pick. So see if they have something in plan to try and pull out the domination here. I remember who they wanted the hat on. All right. We'll see what adjustments Reborn Knights Red can make here. Where is Average Joe? I don't know. Question. Huh. Jeez. Alright, so into game number 2 we go. We got everything set up. We are ready to go. We got Braxis Holdout. Obscured looking to score themselves 3 points going in to the last. Alright. For those of you who don't know, I have a little background with... Actually, this was my my last team was Reborn Knights Red before I came back to form Divine 9 in NGS, so Elcor and I are familiar with each other. I hadn't gotten a chance to cast for Reborn Knights Red this season. I was looking for it. Finally, all the way deep into week 5, finding the first opportunity to cast them this season. But meanwhile, Braxis Holdout, a map where it's all about sustain and point control on these beacons. We'll see right away the Maiev ban coming out, and I mean, if that's not a respect ban, I don't know what is. Meanwhile, Obscured is going to have the next ban out here. Be interesting to see what they decide to ban out. Could look at maybe the Diablo that we saw last game from Reborn Knights Red. Ninja with some nice displacement. Some nice engagement as well, overall. But they may not look directly at the specific bans from the last game. They may look for more map-oriented bans. Could look to ban out some serious wave clear. Could look for another Dahaka ban that we saw last game from them, which is a pretty strong hero here. They're actually going to go with the Stukov. So looking at stocked against Stukov last game, they don't want a second round of that. Now, Stukov is pretty difficult to deal with on this map. When you're trying to fight on these beacon points, it can be pretty rough to have to fight through that silence, that lurking arm, or to have to get around to where Stukov is to interrupt that lurking arm. Can also be a real rough time. The first pick going over here to Reborn Knights Red. They've got quite a lot of strong options. They could go back to the early Diablo here if they want. With Stukov off the board, they could maybe look to pick up the Malfurion and get themselves a lead in the support game. They could look for some heavy damage and wave clear potential. Hanzo available. They could also look at... Never mind, they're just going to go straight to the Diablo. Say hi to stream. Thank you for the offer, but you know, doing things right now. Reported. All right, so Garrosh and Phoenix gonna be coming out here. Can you guys pick Nazeebo or something? This map is too short. Huh, that's interesting. So, the members of Reborn Knights Red picking Diablo first. Obscured gonna respond by getting the Garrosh. Interesting, though. They could have had the option to get the Malfurion once again that they played last game pretty well. They decided not to go in that direction. They want to get the Phoenix for themselves this game. Garrosh pretty strong on this map as well with his displacement ability. Able to also zone a little bit for these shrines. And the Greymane Sonya coming out. So we saw Reborn Knights Red kind of heading in towards that Greymane last game, but it ended up getting banned out before they were able to pick it. So this time they're going to make sure to get it before the potential ban comes out. Also picking up their solo laner in top, the Sonya. Pretty difficult to deal with in the solo lane. So much sustain up there. As she has pretty strong wave clear potential as well. Can always sneak away to take these camps very easily. But just in general, pretty hard to deal with on the actual beacon points themselves. She did suffer a little bit of a rework / nerf. Had that level 4 talent that helps with the mercs and the self-sustain moved back to level 7. So we'll see how much of an effect that has on her over the long haul, but I think it just makes her a little bit less powerful from levels 4 to 7. I don't think it will make that big a difference. Like, most of the reasons that she's still powerful, she will still remain powerful. But either way, the expected... Actually, not expected. The Malfurion ban coming out from Obscured. I kind of expected that, half expected that at least, from Reborn Knights Red. But I suppose Obscured just wanting to take Malfurion off the table. They didn't want to play it. They didn't want to potentially pick it up in this next rotation. They must be looking for a different healer. But they don't want Reborn Knights Red to have it, of course. Malfurion very strong in the sustained game. It begs the question, though, for Obscured, what healer do they really want? Malfurion and Garrosh is an incredibly strong combo, and we saw them play it last game. So I'll be interested to see what direction they're going in here. Kael'thas going to be the ban out for Reborn Knights Red. And they're going to go with the Deckard. So Deckard Cain entering the Nexus this week, at least for competitive play. He's been out for a few weeks now in the actual Nexus. Ragnaros also coming out for Obscured. So massive amounts of wave clear. Of course, Molten Core gives him a very, very good defensive tool against these Zerg waves. Lava Wave also typically used on this map for extra wave clear and defense against the Zerg. Deckard, though. Deckard is something we definitely need to touch on. Very good sustain as well in the healing department. Also good point control heals. You know, he is able to really stack up a lot of those healing potions onto one spot onto the beacon point. And then when you do end up fighting over it, you got a lot of burst healing potential, but also good CC. You know, he brings pretty much everything other than wave clear.
Oh,
so we're gonna see Lucio and Gul'dan, and by the way, that skin is epic. Gotta love it for Reborn Knights Red here. Gul'dan, that's gonna be their wave clear. Lucio, their sustained heals, and Nazebo coming out. So they had been chatting about Nazebo a little bit. That is interesting. That is kind of an odd pick on this map. Nazebo, traditionally a late game hero that likes maps that you can roll around and, you know, and be able to absorb the minions in multiple lanes. And Praxis Holdout is just a 2-lane map that the 2 lanes are pretty far apart. You can't really rotate between mid and bot for the sake of soaking minions. So, and Braxis Holdout is a very early map in general, so a lot of times Nazebo doesn't really get that much value out of his late game scaling and his potential stacking quest at 20. So we'll see. You know, Obscured played incredibly well in that first game, and plus, you know, Garrosh tosses into Nazebo walls, into Phoenix damage. I mean, you can see where it's going. But we'll see if that is indeed where it ends up going, as we are heading into game number 2 on the left. Obscured looking to get themselves the domination tonight. Mumu is going to be on the Garrosh. We're going to have Unicorn King on Deckard. Garandoff is going to be playing Nazebo. And I Got Itches going to be on the Ragnaros. And Anson going to be on the Phoenix. On the right, Reborn Knights Red. CG Stamop going to be on the Greymane. Nothing but net. Melkor is going to be on the Sonya. We're going to have Arcade Ninja on the Diablo. Reinsguard going to be playing the Gul'dan. And Stocktigan going to be on the Lucio. So, interesting pick here for solo lane. They're going to have Anson up here on the Phoenix. Not to say that it's a bad pick. Of course, Phoenix does have a massive amount of wave clear to be able to keep up in the clear game. He's going to be able to clear these waves about as fast as Greymane and Sonya together, as you can see already. Plus, he's got, you know, good self-sustained mechanic. As soon as he stops taking damage for 5 seconds, those shields come right back. And, you know, it's easy for picking back and forth in that solo lane. Meanwhile, in the bot, going to see Arcane Ninja stepping up a little bit. Looking to see if he can find anybody to hit into the wall. And Garandoff got to be careful here. Taking a lot of damage from Melkor and company, but heals do come out from Unicorn King. There you see it, the toss into the Nazebo wall, but this time the Nazebo wall a little bit forward. But interesting that traditionally you'd expect the Ragnaros to be in the solo lane, but they do send the Phoenix up there. Not necessarily a bad choice, but just maybe not what is expected. Melkor, meanwhile, being tossed. Moo, putting Melkor way, way out. And that slam comes down. The Groundbreaker gonna be able to secure that kill onto Sonya, or at least help Nazeebo secure it. But it comes back on the other side. Stockton with his little Nerf gun there. His little wub is gonna finish off Nazeebo. Moo getting overpowered there by Ninja, but the response. They'll toss him into that tower range, and Nexus forces OP down here. Early 2-1 as the fighting goes back and forth, but for now the beacons are going to be held, and Unicorn King is very low. Gonna have to pop a potion real quick. And Reborn Knights Red does have the cap. They are charging. We're going to get about a little over 50% before eventually Obscured is able to retake the bot. They are retaking the top as well, though. But for now, we're going to see the charge coming in on the other side, as Ninja has returned. And they are looking to push in here. Greymane falling on the top end, though. That is huge. Reducing the push in. The wall comes out with the root from that scroll from Unicorn King, who is getting very low, by the way. And for now, the bottom will be retaken, and 86% charge is done for Obscured, but that is going to be all they're going to get for the moment. Meanwhile, I got Itches in a ton of trouble here. Nice overpower from Ninja once again. Melkor starting to get low. Spinning on out. And for now, both teams going to walk away, but look at sneaky Greymane. Back, and this is going to be a full-on battle here, but eventually Ansem is going to have to teleport away. And the cap is grabbed by Reborn Knights Red, and it looks like right now Obscured has decided to just let this go. 86% Zerg Wave in the top, so still quite a powerful run. It does only have one of those Ultralisks, but still a Zerg Wave that you don't want to ignore. Here come the Zerg in the bot lane for Reborn Knights Red. Right away, the scroll is going to slow them all up just a little bit, and nice damage coming out to be able to pop a lot of those Banelings. Now, it is worth noting that they do have the Molt Core for the extra defense, but right now, it's being used for the wave clear potential, not actually soaking any of the damage, as the front wall is what's being targeted. But look at them ripping through. It's not even getting the front wall. That is an incredible amount of wave clear. Doesn't get any of the fence, any of the wall, anything. Meanwhile, on the top end, Obscured finds most of the front wall in the top fort. So both teams having pretty incredible defense, which I find interesting. Neither team looking to go offensive. And that's overall, that's an exchange that's going to go in favor of Obscured. Not just because of the structure advantage, but because they have a late game comp with this Nazeebo. So the longer they can stretch this match, better off he's going to be. 32 right now is the minion count. And the one thing about this map is you do spend a lot of time in lane. You only have the 2 lanes, and typically for a Nazeebo, he's only going to be soaking out one of them. However, you can spend pretty much the whole game in that lane, unlike a lot of these map objectives where they're constantly pulling you far away from the minion waves. But Nazeebo can be constantly getting points here towards that quest town. Trying to get that magical 175 for the level 20. Greymane falling once again. Ansem showing us how strong he is in that solo lane, regardless of what hero he's on. Give him Junkrat, give him Leoric, give him the Phoenix, give him anybody, and he is just super strong in that role. 4-1 on the kill count right now, but a pretty nice level lead here for the members of Obscured. A lot of that's got to be off those picks up in top and the subsequent XP gain they have. Reborn Knights Red not having somebody up there to soak. And now they're starting to get in on the damage. The Toad quest has been completed here for Garandolf, so he's getting those extra Toads. And that level 7 upgrade's giving him a lot of extra damage. He took the level 4 upgrade for a little extra health. And I believe also mana regen off of the Voodoo. Which is up to 56 right now, that Voodoo ritual. And for the moment, they're going to be dominating in this bot lane. And they actually, the members of Reborn Knights Red, deciding to switch this up a little bit. They're going to bring back Greymane. They're going to have Sonya up in the solo lane, which is, I don't know. I think I like that better. Certainly, the Greymane wasn't doing as well in the top, so I like at least the change coming, just to try to see if something else can do better. But right now, Sonya is dominating up in the top. However, it's worth noting that level 10 is now in for Obscured. Had to wonder which heroic we were going to see for Deckard, and it is indeed that Lornado. And for right now, Melkor sitting on the beacon point, dancing a little bit here with Anson. But we'll go back to the bot where all the action really is happening. Garandolf getting pretty low. Moo having to back out as well. Goldman is just dealing a ton of damage. Unicorn King getting that potion in just in time. So looking at the heroics, it is indeed the lava wave coming in. But oh, wait a minute. Zebo ends up going down. Reinsguard, though, is going to end up dying in response. Stockton getting very low. And Decimate coming in from Garrosh. It's not the Warlord's Challenge. I don't know if I've ever seen Decimate, but it's getting massive value right now, slowing the members of Reborn Knights Red, getting the extra damage. Very interesting. I think pretty much every heroic is other than, I would say normally, other than Warlord's Challenge, is one where you can kind of see each player go either way. You know, you see a lot of Stay a While and Listen on Deckard. You see a fair amount of the other ults for all the heroes except for Garrosh. But Decimate ends up being the choice. Phoenix going to be ganked up here in the top, so Anson finally getting matched, but took all 5 members of Reborn Knights Red to take him out. Gotta feel good about that, you know. Takes a full team rotation to take out your solo laner. Meanwhile, Ninja getting in with a nice APOC combo, but hasn't gone too far. Taking a ton of damage from the wall there. Sound barrier being popped to keep him alive, but for now, both the beacons do get capped from Reborn Knights Red. And from across the map, Anson looking to split up the members of Reborn Knights Red with that Planet Cracker. And for now, Obscured is able to push RK Red back and gonna force them to get that beacon progress stalled. Anson is on the cap right now. Melkor rotating in, but actually decides not to go all the way in. Not back to full health just yet. So gonna be difficult. Gul'dan falling in the bot, and they are in deep here. Ninja also about to fall so low from all this damage. Unicorn King of all people being tossed in there. The Lornado coming out, not quite gonna find its mark. The scroll doesn't get to anybody. But meanwhile, in the top, fairly small Zerg wave, but still going to be enough that they feel like they want to pop that lava wave. Certainly don't need it in bot right now. The Zerg are walking in to this keep, directly into it. The wall already down. Mumu hitting the groundbreaker. All 5 members are down here for Reborn Knights Red, trying to defend out this keep. They do take out the bigger Zerg up front, but they still have the Guardians. They're shooting from the back end, and Mumu going to be caught out a little bit too far, but the keep is going to end up going down. So even trade, well, I would say more than even trade here for Obscured. 3-level lead. First keep of the game. They're going to get the top for it here with Anson just split soaking. Can Reborn Knights Red come back in this one? It's going to be a little while until they get that 13 talent tier. Camps being picked up on both sides of the map, and Invasion squad coming, but not going to be here quite in time. We'll elect to just clean up the camp while they're already here. Garandolf, meanwhile, is up to 87, but not quite on par to hit the 175 just yet. Still has some time. Oh, but look at the damage. Oh, but nice toss there into the fray from Moo Moo. Gonna save Itch's life. Itch's life, I suppose. We are gonna see Ninja trying to rotate out here, but does use the Shadow Charge to dodge the Decimate. Right around the time Reborn Knights Red has this level 13, we're gonna see level 16 come in pretty quickly from Obscured after that. Meanwhile, Garandolf trying to back, does actually manage to get the back completed as Ninja charging in there. Just barely gets away. And they'll look to continue to soak. But once again, just a little bit faster rotation out to the solo lane for Obscured. Reborn Knights Red not soaking both lanes, not catching up on XP here. But it does make them a little safer and a little less gankable. I say that as sights start to go in onto Melkor up here in the top lane. But all 5 members are here. Phoenix is in the body. Does have Planet Cracker. He wants to try to affect the team fight, but it's not going to be in time for Ragnaros. He's going to end up falling in this top lane. Level 13s have been picked up, and now 16 is just a speck away. Worth noting that we got 3 catapults built up here in the bot lane, so something that Reborn Knights Red is going to have to worry about soon. They do, however, decide risky business here. They are going to get started on this boss. And now the question simply becomes how long until the members of Obscured realize that this boss is going on. I don't think it's going to be in time. They do capture the beacons back, but the boss is going to go over to Reborn Knights Red uncontested. Now they're going to rotate in bot to look to stop the point being capped here. And Anson just barely escaping there from Ninja. The Shadow Charge came in just around the same time as that teleport was coming out. But meanwhile, Obscured, we'll just go ahead and clean up the boss. It is going to get a little bit of damage up here, but level 16s have been picked up. Melkor having to go back to clean up the core, which is going to take 6%. Not too bad. Cleaned up in time until major problems were occurring. Once again, capped on both ends here. Nice Shadow Charge after the APOC there. Garandolf does manage to dodge the APOC stun, though, with that Ice Block. Meanwhile, the cross the map, right on the point, Planet Breaker. Gonna split up the members of RK Red, but they still manage to cap the point. They're chunked a little bit, but Lucio will eventually be able to heal them up. Be a little more effective at that after 16. Ninja does go in with that Shadow Charge. Deals a nice amount of damage, but it's the members of RK that are getting chunked. 3-man zombie wall. And that is going to be it. That is going to be a full team ace. And I don't know, these timers are not quite long enough for them to charge through bot. They're just going to go in through the top lane. But 3-level lead here for Obscured. And they are starting on this front wall, the Zerg wave and the Lava wave. All the waves coming in behind them here. Is it going to catch out the minion wave? It is. Value. So much value for the Lava wave. Bottom side, by the way. 3 catapults with a 4th on the way. And this sure is looking like a win condition for Obscured. Miracle time for Reborn Knights Red. Ninja charging in. Does interrupt the potential Molten Core from Itches. But it's going to be the point-blank Planet Cracker. The sound barrier in response, but Diablo is already dead. The core is falling 20%. That is going to be it. Game number 2, and the series goes over to Obscured. Pretty dominant series overall from this team. They definitely played the macro well. The rotations were good. Can't say enough about Ants Anson in that solo lane role. Just so strong. And we're going to look to see if I can hop into Lobby 1 here and get somebody from Obscured in for an interview. But overall, a very strong series from Obscured. We saw them with a massive lead on Towers of Doom. A massive lead once again here on Brax's Holdout. Breaking out the Deckard with pretty early success here from Unicorn King. And it looks like we are going to get Ants Anson. And I am G'd and joined by Ants Anson. Is that the correct pronunciation of that?
Ants Anson, you got it.
All right, we got it. So incredible solo lane play in both of those games, by the way. I'm constantly impressed seeing you just dominate in that solo lane role. Give us your state secrets on how exactly you conduct yourself in that solo lane and how you are so successful in that. In general, or in a particular matchup? Yeah, what you focus on, and you know what kinds of things you do to make sure you're being successful and winning those solo lane matchups so often.
Just not dying. That's like really the main thing. And like I focus on safety first for like some hero like Phoenix, you know, until you get some talents. But like survival is everything, and trading damage is good for some heroes and bad for other heroes. So it really just depends on the matchup, honestly.
Fair enough. So you guys come out tonight. You get a big win against Reborn Knights Red. Tell me a little bit about your guys' experience in NGS so far this season, and what you guys are looking forward to in the rest of the season.
Our experience has been really fun so far. Like, first and foremost, I gotta say, all the teams that we've played against have had really sweet matches with us for the most part, and people also for the most part have been very sportsmanlike overall. So it's been a good time. I'm really looking forward to playoffs.
Yeah, you guys right now moving up those rankings just a little bit just from this win. And it looks like there's a pretty strong cutoff for that top 8. Where are you guys kind of expecting to land? How much have you guys looked into the possible playoff picture?
We're still kind of like prototyping a couple of strategies, so we're looking forward to busting them out. But otherwise, we've just been like studying our mistakes and our replays and stuff like that, and trying to get into practice where we can.
All right, so one last question I had for you specifically about this match was, you guys decided to break out the Nazebo on Brax's Holdout. Is that something that you guys felt like you would have some decent success with, even though it's not very traditional on the map?
Yeah, Garandolf is a really strong Nazebo player, so we are usually pretty confident that we can support him, and we wanted to. We're like prototyping some stuff, you know, but that was a fun game, and shoutouts.
Shoutouts indeed. I was just about to mention that's if you have any shoutouts you want to make, the floor is yours.
All right, well, of course, shout out to team. Y'all played really well, and it was great. I love that Lornado Planet Cracker combo. Like, amazing. I can't even believe it. And shout outs to NGS and you, Jason, for casting.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Thanks for coming out and interviewing, and I hope you have a good night.
You too. Good night.
Later. All right. Straight and to the point. God love it. All right, and if you're wondering, this is a cattail that's on my shoulder. I want to thank everybody for coming out. Another awesome match here. B West action. Obscured gets themselves 3 points on the board as we head in towards the last few weeks of play here in NGS Season 4. Thank you, everybody, for coming out and watching. I hope you guys enjoyed the match. And thanks to both teams for playing and putting on a good show for us. And I guess that's just about it. We'll have this match, just like all my other matches, up on my YouTube channel in the very near future. I know I missed last night's, but right after this, I'm going to get both of them up on YouTube, and we'll spam that in the VODs channel. And that is it for NGS. I am Jayzon. Thank you very much for coming out tonight, guys, and I will see you guys next time.